In this video, I want to talk about orientation, and there'll be other videos that look at orientation from more of a nervous system perspective and how we use the technique or the process of orientation in trauma-informed practice. And that has more to do with our orientation to the present moment and to our bodies. And what I'm going to be putting forth today is kind of an extended version of orientation, but that actually goes back to the origin of the word. So orientation has its roots in the use of compasses, when people were orienting their position in the environment based off the positions of a compass. So maybe we wanted to head north, or you'd orient yourself to the east, and that probably relates to oriental, the orient being in the east. To orient oneself towards the east, for example. But this is a really important piece, in my opinion, because a lot of trauma-informed work these days orients us to the present moment. That's amazing. That's mindfulness. It orients us to our body. So that's somatic work, that's trauma-informed work, being able to come back from dissociation and ground safely in the present. But this form of orientation, of being able to experience ourselves as part of a greater field and reconnect as part of nature to where we actually are on the planet. And this is important because a lot of trauma work with orientation related to the nervous system, it wants us to feel secure and embodied. But how do we do that if we've forgotten our connection to the earth? And so much of society and modern life actually takes us away from that connection to the earth. We orient ourselves to screens, our worlds orbit around social media, around work, all of these untangible concepts, as opposed to actually orienting ourselves to what our bodies and our ancestors were orienting to, which is the stars, the seasons, the positions of when you're going to get the best light when you need it, the environment in terms of where hunting game was available, where a river was, where the mountains were so that you could see really well on a summit. This is how we used to orient our experience of being in time and space. And I don't see many opportunities for that in modern life. So that's why this video feels important, to remind us that we're actually part of a greater field and reconnect us to that old method of orienting to the present and to the land. And the way I'm going to present this is actually by finding a compass. So most likely we all have a phone, and most phones these days, iPhones and smartphones, have a compass app. So if you don't have a compass app, you might need to actually go find another compass, like a real one, or find another solution. I'm not sure what that would be. But once you have a compass of some kind, I'm going to get you to open it and find east, or find any position on the compass, so that you actually know where you are in relationship to the directions. So east is going to be where the sun rises. I have it at my right now. And my north is in front of me, so that's quite convenient. My south is behind me, and my west is to my left. So go ahead and orient yourself to whatever direction. It doesn't necessarily matter. But from a shamanic framework perspective, I'm going to run through the meanings or the symbolism of each direction, because the directions are perceived to be actually energies, like living, symbolic, archetypal energies. So our east is our sunrise. It's the newness and inspiration and freshness of the morning sun and the dawn. So it's where new beginnings and inspiration tend to lie. In the south, we have what is ripe, what is full. It's the season of summer, so it's things in its complete state. Richness, abundance, the full harvest. So what's already rich and full right now. Then we have the west. That's the direction of the ancestors, as well as, well, sometimes north is considered ancestors, but I'm putting forth that it's the ancestors, and kind of the cycles of letting go. So autumn, shedding leaves, and being able to release. That's the sunset. And then we have north, which I've heard different things about north, but the way I'm connecting to north and the most times I've heard the symbolism of north, it's had to do with the challenges, actually. So from the challenges actually comes the wisdom as well. It's the season of winter, so it's when food is in the shortest supply. It's when the light is at its minimum point of fullness. So it brings challenges, winter and the north, but we can also receive the wisdom of ancestors and the wisdom from the challenges. And often when I connect to the north, I ask for a channel to be able to receive the wisdom that is needed for the challenges I'm facing at this time. And may I have access to wisdom. And it also helps us actually put in action our wisdom, because the challenges ask us to act creatively, to apply ourselves, to push ourselves beyond our limits. But this is what we're training for. In all of the things we're learning how to meet these difficult moments. So they're really sacred moments as well. And then, of course, we have the center of the compass, and that's where we'd orient to ourselves and have a proprioceptive awareness of where our body is, but also being able to connect to inner sensations or even a happy place within, and that's called resourcing. But we'll get to that in another video. And something I want to say on the directions is actually tuning into where you are on the map, on the globe. So because I know east is that way, I know that I have various countries that are in that direction, for example. Or I can go, okay, I know that there's the ocean there. If I'm in Australia, I'm in New South Wales, I know that east will bring me towards Sydney. And then being able to map, okay, what's west, what's south, what's north. And do this for yourself now. So you might close your eyes and picture where you are on the map and orient yourself as a little pinpoint on your map in your inner vision. And send your sensing out towards landmarks that you know are there. So if you know that the ocean is out to the east, for example, see if you can feel the energy of the ocean out towards whichever side is facing the east. And you can do the same for any other landmarks you know in any other direction. And you can even imagine yourself on the globe in terms of where the Arctic might be. The Arctic is going to be the most northern point for all of us, so you can sense into the north direction, leading you towards penguins and polar bears. And feel that energy from the north connecting with you. And the same with the south. South Pole, more penguins, big whales, ice, or any other countries below you on the map. And then out to the west, sensing the energy of the lands that extend to the west, from the west. And you might go around this inner compass, or this compass in your inner mind several times to actually feel the energy from each direction. And in a future video, we'll actually have a meditation that we'll go through of connecting with the energy of each element. But I ask you now to notice in this moment how your body feels, knowing where it is in time and space. Not just in your garden or in your room, but where it's positioned in terms of the rest of the planet, the rest of the region. Recognizing yourself as part of a greater field. You're not this isolated little being in the middle of nowhere or in your tiny little bubble. You are positioned within a greater context of the planet, of the earth, of the different climates of the earth, of the different cultures on the earth. And see how your body responds. How does your pelvis respond to that sensation that you're connected to a larger web? Whenever you're ready, you can close that exercise for yourself. And as I said, there'll be more opportunities to connect with this concept in other videos, so I encourage you, if you liked the concepts in this video, to go look at them reasonably soon. But I encourage you during the week or even during a month to reconnect with this practice of actually looking at the compass, be it on your phone or if you have a proper compass or if you know where east is, being able to orient yourself in the greater field on a regular basis. And this has been a really helpful puzzle piece in me strengthening the health of my root chakra, my sense of embodiment on the planet, my sense of belonging to the planet, and that affects everything else. My ability to be embodied from the pelvis, but also on the nervous system level, whichever framework resonates with you. This is a big missing piece in modern people today. It's the disconnection with the land. It's growing up not even having a sense that we're part of nature or a greater context, and not knowing anything about the geography that we grow up on. So an extended invitation could be to actually get to know the topography of where you are. Maybe there's a map you can look at that shows you how hilly things are, or you can learn about the stone of the cliffs around where you live. Is it limestone? What qualities are associated with that? All these different threads of reconnecting to the land that we're actually on. All right, I'll see you in another video.